if you guys have questions, take advantage of the time to pick Bill's brain question that came up earlier about naps. So I think we can go ahead and answer that one.
Lots of people are asking the nap question. The number one thing is you have to be awake for your competition. So it takes time to get fully awake. After you have fallen all the way asleep, it will take 2 full hours for you to become 100% awake again. You have to experiment with that. If you've had a full 9 hours of sleep the night before or more, napping more could actually make you groggy. Some people's sweet spot for a nap is about 20 minutes. If you take a 20-minute nap, you're probably not really going to sleep, but you can rest your mind and you can use that time to visualize a great performance. If you have been sleep deprived, you had a bad night's sleep the night before and you have a game coming up, then 45 minutes can be really a great amount of time to sleep. There's a good chance that you can actually fall all the way asleep in that 45-minute time and make up for the lack of sleep, because a lack of sleep actually reduces the accuracy of how you see things. It also increases your reaction time, and an increase in reaction time is bad. You want reduced reaction time. Lots of negative effects behind lack of sleep.
What is your opinion on meditation?
And that can take a lot of forms. Some people pray, some people meditate, some people don't believe in meditation, other people visualize. That's a very personal thing for you. So find, play around with it and find what works for you. I particularly like to visualize and then also pray. I want supernatural help from above to play with the right attitude, to play well, and for things to go well with my opponent, because then it's more fun that way.
All right, we got some clarification. Thanks, Christian. So he's saying it allows you to be better by being more fluid and relaxed, thinking less and being more confident. Sleep and napping. I'm not sure if that was a question, but maybe when he's napping before he plays, that's how he feels.
Yeah, I think that's a great point that was made. And absolutely, because I think most people can relate to when you haven't slept, things don't flow the same way. Everything seems just a little bit more difficult, and you might be feeling stressed out or tense, or like you're not seeing as well as you could be. A lot of that can really come into play.
All right, let's take one last question here, because I do want to honor your time and you've given us a full hour. So, okay, on game day, is it better to listen to chill music throughout the day until it's almost time to compete?
Ooh. No, that is a great question. That's a good one to end on. All right, there's a legendary football coach who said, "I've never seen a linebacker hit a running back with a smile on his face." To me, what that means is different sports require different things. Football is not a chill sport, so you don't want to be too chill. And yet, on the other end of it, if you are listening to music that gets you agitated and over the top and hyperactive, you might be penalty prone, make mistakes. You could freak out at the wrong moment. Consider the sport that you're playing. The more violent, explosive sports like, say, wrestling and football, sprinting, those are different, right? But then over here you have golf, right? And tennis and basketball. They all have a different kind of a thing to them. So, play around with what works best for you. There's a lot of really interesting personal preference to it. So there's a great story about a guy named Bill Russell, who you may or may not be familiar with, but he won 11 championships. So I think his high school team won a national championship. His college team won a national championship, And then his NBA team won like 9 championships or something like that as a coach and a player. And he used to vomit before every match, before every game. Yeah, he used to throw up. And so, but the interesting thing is, in real life, he's a very mellow, laid back guy. So he had to get himself up here and then come back down so he could be ready to play. Most people are not that way. Most people are more anxious. I can confer with anybody personally on that, but it's hard. There's no cookie cutter answer. There's no one size fits all. So that's probably the best thing for you to know, especially if you're in a team sport, because the way your teammate does it might not be the way you do it. And so you don't judge them for that. Maybe you help them think about it. You know, what works for you might not work for them, and vice versa.
Awesome. I definitely think there's a lot of individualized on some of those things for sure, even across different sports, right? Like me as a tennis player, if I get too high, I'm going to be crazy on the court. I need to like find my balance. And then someone else on tennis court needs a little extra oomph. So yeah, I love all of that. Those are some great questions, you guys. I like that.
Absolutely.
All right. This has been awesome, as always. So many just different things to consider, different thought processes, new apps. Did anybody download the app? I did while you were talking. I was like, I want to challenge my brain. How many of you put that on your phone during this? Although I'm sorry, I just gave myself up. That was a distraction, and you told us not to have a device.
Let me add one thing to that that I left out. I'm sorry, but you know, that app is great for everybody. And, you know, part of the one thing that's happening right now is people are outliving their brains. And so that's why you have a grandmother, you know, somebody who has a grandmother who has, or a grandfather who has dementia. So taking care of your brain and getting your folks to take care of their brains means, you know, you won't have to be a burden on anybody. They can function longer and better and have a longer, more rich life. So it's that important.
Throw it out there. If you want to unmute and ask it, go for it.
Yes. Hello. So I struggle with a very short attention span. I was wondering if you could kind of help me out here as to how to help improve that short attention span to learn more, I guess you could say, because I pay attention, let's say, for the first 5 minutes and I'm completely there. But then after those first 5 minutes, I'm completely lost because that time is gone. Just that attention span is run out.
Take a break. I'm pretty sure everybody can relate to this where you're reading and your eyes went across an entire page and your eyes saw every single word, but none of the words went in your brain. and you're thinking, what's wrong with me, right? But no, you just went past your attention span. That's all. It just means it's break time. It doesn't mean try it 5 more times and drive yourself insane. So I would say maybe you're trying too hard to pay attention with too much ferocity. So let down a little bit and you're going to find that you can pay attention for longer. And if you're bumping into that, then you need more breaks built in. So I need a little more to know about the context, but and then also push yourself, realize, okay, I feel like I am not fully paying attention right now. So, okay, so hold on. So I can't take a break. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take notes. Or I'm just gonna allow myself to like close my eyes and take a deep breath for 20 seconds, and then I'll get right back to it. So I think sometimes people are a little too hard on themselves, and then they make it more difficult for themselves. Does that sound like that makes sense for you, Nico?
Yes, it does. So it's like you just said, like in class, I'll pay attention, but the classes, we don't really have breaks. So you kind of have to keep going, pushing yourself to pay attention. And then eventually I end up getting lost because the attention span runs out. And as you said, I could probably start taking notes, and that might help a little bit.
Yeah, that's the only way I would be able to get through that, is by being a voracious note taker, because then you don't, it's more of a hearing the words, writing it down, rather than having to think about it all at once. So
Awesome. Thank you, Bill, for your time. Thank you guys for all the great questions and engagement. Have an awesome night, and hope to see you all in future sessions with us.
thanks, everybody.